distinct pleasure to welcome everyone here this afternoon to help Bloomfield schools celebrate a milestone in education, the recent awarding of the National Blue Ribbon Award for Excellence in Academics. Today, we are honored to have Governor Dave Heineman and Commissioner of Education, Dr. Roger Breed. Folks, this is huge. If you are a football fan in this great state, it's kind of like having Bo Pelini and Tom Osborne here. Or if you don't like those, it's kind of like meeting the people that are on Duck Dynasty. Has anybody ever seen that? There's some neat people. It's difficult to emphasize the importance of this award without giving recognition to those involved up to this moment. The award is a collaborative effort. It's greater than any one individual or groups of individuals. It takes the backing of the community, the parents, the school board, and most importantly, the students and staff. It even takes the direct efforts of these gentlemen here on a daily basis. Believe it or not, they do a lot for education, and sometimes they don't get the limelight for it. And that's not what they're after. This award showcases the academic prowess of our students. Today is the day to bask in the sunlight of success. Recently, statewide rankings came out and were made public to the annual State of the Schools report. What I took off of the State of the Schools report was, in an average of 227 schools across the state, Bloomfield grades 9 through 12 ranks 7th in reading, 1st in math, 3rd in science, and 6th in writing. And overall, the average of the grades 3 through 12 out of 249 schools, Bloomfield students rank 81st in reading, 5th in math, 26th in science, and 2nd in writing. Now that was off of the sneak peek. What an accomplishment. We will take it any way we can. And folks, if you want to see what your tax dollars do at work, this is it. Tax dollars are a lot of show and a lot of glitter and sports and other extracurricular activities, but this is where it actually pays off, and today it is paying off. We don't have the fancy facilities and the best accessories, but what we do have are directly related staff and students who care, and we are seeing results. So we are proud, we are Bloomfield. So sit back and enjoy, and we will continue with the rest of the program. Congratulations, students.
Thank you, Mr. Marks. Mr. Wilkin and I traveled to Washington, D.C. on November 13th to bring home a National Blue Ribbon plaque and our National Blue Ribbon flag. That's going to be presented today to you, our Bloomfield community. I have a certain perspective on what it means to be a National Blue Ribbon school. I'd like to share a couple of my perspectives now. First of all, the we is all of Bloomfield. We are the bees. We being you, the community, the parents. You expect so much from our school personnel, and we being each and every student, each and every Bloomfield Community School student, each dedicated Bloomfield Community School employee that believes in our students. A great staff, a staff that responds to student needs. They find solutions, they connect, and they take it very seriously, our business of our kids. Second of all, I want to move on and recognize someone who is no longer in our school district, and she was unable to be here today, but I wanted to mention Kim Lingenfelter, former Bloomfield Community School principal. I want to thank her for her leadership and all that she did for Bloomfield Community Schools. And like I said, she was unable to join us today, but she was invited in. She was sorry she couldn't be here. My third point is to challenge each of us that sat here today to humbly model excellence as we represent a National Blue Ribbon School by sharing what we know that works, sharing with neighbors, with friends, other schools that will ask, so how do we become a National Blue Ribbon School? My final point today is some more recognition. I'd like to recognize several students that have excelled on our ACT scores. First of all, we want to present to you an outstanding young man that has earned a perfect score on his ACT. Nick Nagengast with a perfect 36. Would you please stand? Also, for an awesome school, and I will say small, but we do have also 3 others that we want to recognize at this time. These 3 have scored over a 30 on their ACT scores. Our scores have been taken to a new level, and we need to recognize these awesome 3 also. I'll mention their names, and we want to let them stand and recognize them also. 3 more Bloomfield Community School students scoring over a 30 on their ACT. Please stand when I call your name. Grace Carhart, Dakota Bergerhoff, and Lexi Howard. And we need to move on to our next session, and we're going to allow Reese McFarland to come up and get our next speaker.
Sharing his thoughts with us on what it means to be a Blue Ribbon School is BHS senior Callan Custer. Callan is the son of Tim and Shelley Custer. Callan has been a part of the Bloomfield communities for 4 years. He has been involved in National Honor Society, basketball, track, cross country, band, baseball, church youth group, and student council. We thank him for his contribution to this award ceremony.
Among the flat plains and treeless landscape of northeast Nebraska lies the humble town of Bloomfield. Most people wouldn't expect much from this town of 1,100 people, but we couldn't disagree more. To add to our 25 consecutive years in the state football playoffs and our excellent fine arts programs, Bloomfield High School can now boast a Blue Ribbon, the most prestigious academic award a school can achieve. This honor is a symbol of quality that brings distinction to our school and to the community, recognizing sustained success in intellectual, moral, and social growth. To me, this Blue Ribbon exemplifies the tremendous amount of character our teachers and students possess. In order to achieve this award, everyone had to work hard year-round, making education Bloomfield's top priority. With such an esteemed award as the Blue Ribbon, this school now enters education history, all the while working hard to accomplish its fundamental purpose, enabling students to become responsible citizens. I personally look forward to where this school is headed in the future, and I encourage everyone to keep up the good work. Thank you.
Grace Carhart is a lifelong student at BHS. She's a member of the senior class. Grace is the daughter of Dave and Mary Carhart. Grace has been a member of National Honor Society, SCCLA, band, chorus, drama, and track. Today, she would like to share her thoughts with us on what it means to be a part of the Blue Ribbon School.
Let's face it, Bloomfield is not a big city. It's not even a big town. With a population of about 1,100, Bloomfield is only a modest few people away from being considered a village. Our school system reflects our numbers. Maybe somewhere in the mid-200 range is our student population, kindergarten through 12th grade. And yet, we have excelled. The U.S. Department of Education defines the Blue Ribbon Schools program as recognizing schools where students perform at very high levels. According to the government, Bloomfield Junior-Senior High School has met the criteria, and we are one of only 6 schools, both elementary and secondary, in the entire state of Nebraska to be recognized. As a senior at Bloomfield High, it is a privilege for me to attend this school. I've always known that Bloomfield is tough. We have a challenging curriculum and a very competitive atmosphere. both of which have led to our many achievements throughout the years, spanning activities from athletics to math competitions. We may not be the biggest school, and yet being recognized as a national Blue Ribbon school proves that Bloomfield can move past its limitations and excel despite them. This is a very prestigious award for our school, and I am proud to be a student here. As a member of the senior class attending my final year at Bloomfield High, I can only hope that the future generations will work as hard as we have to obtain this national status.
Good afternoon to all of you. We are glad you are here to help us celebrate our Blue Ribbon Award. I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Roger Breed. Dr. Breed is committed to improving student achievement. He has been the Nebraska Commissioner of Education since March 2009. Before becoming the Nebraska Commissioner of Education, Dr. Breed was an educator for more than 40 years. He was also named Nebraska's Superintendent of the Year in 2007. Please welcome Dr. Breed to Bloomfield Community Schools.
Well, those are far more articulate comments than the next two fellows that are going to speak are going to have. And I'm always in awe of somebody with a 36 on the ACT. The governor and I, each of the last few years, have recognized the perfect ACT scores in Nebraska. And we always start the presentation by saying, well, the governor and I have an ACT of 36. It involves adding our scores and multiplying them by 2 or 3. But we feel right at home with them as long as they don't use really big words. Well, I'm truly honored to be here and to participate in the Blue Ribbon ceremony for Bloomfield Junior Senior High School. To the students and the faculty who daily do the work and make the effort, I offer congratulations from the Nebraska Department of Education and the State Board of Education. To the Bloomfield Community Schools Board of Education, the administration, and the citizens of the greater Bloomfield community, I offer my personal thanks for providing the resources and for an unwavering commitment to student learning. The achievements of the students and the faculty here at Bloomfield did not occur in a vacuum. Parents and volunteers contributed. Older students modeled learning and encouraged their younger peers. The district allowed the flexible use of resources aligned to student learning. Support staff members went beyond the call of duty to help in the effort. And Principal Klender kept all parts moving in the same direction, day in and day out. The mission statement of the Bloomfield Schools is a pledge to provide educational opportunities to enable each student to develop into a responsible citizen, and all that that means. What happens in this school on a daily basis is aligned with the overall mission of Nebraska to accept high levels of learning for all students as the fundamental purpose of our schools, and therefore willingly examine all practices, instruction, allocation of resources, allocation of time, a full and rich curriculum, and whole student supports, among others, in light of their impact on student learning. Famed conservationist Jane Goodall once said, "Every individual matters. Every individual has a role to play. Every individual makes a difference." The Blue Ribbon Award recognizes that the work of the entire Bloomfield school community reflects the conviction that every child has promise, that every day at school matters, and that a quality education for all is a responsibility of all. Our focus in Nebraska schools remains student learning, and at this, the folks in this school and this community have excelled. The journey to excellence is not a clear, and it's never an easy path. It is a matter of small steps that teachers and students take each and every day. It is aligning practices to needs. It is supporting students and students responding to those supports by doing their best each day. And it is about persistence and will over time. I thank Superintendent Marks, Principal Plinder, the members of the school board, the teachers and support staff members for that persistence. And I recognize each of the students here for studying and working hard to raise their achievement. The real reward of a blue ribbon is not in the receiving of a banner or a plaque, nor in this celebration. It is in knowing that each of you has done and will continue to do your best. Now, would Mr. Jason Hefner join me? Mr. Hefner, on behalf of the State Board of Education, the Nebraska Department of Education, and in recognition of the excellence shown by your students and faculty here at Bloomfield Junior Senior High School, it is my pleasure to present to you the Blue Ribbon plaque. Congratulations.
Governor Hyndman is a native Nebraskan. He grew up in several small Nebraska communities before attending and graduating from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. He served 5 years in the U.S. Army and graduated from the Army's Airborne and Ranger schools. Prior to becoming governor, he served more than 3 years as lieutenant governor and nearly 7 years as state treasurer. Governor Hyndman's vision for Nebraska is based on 4 priorities: education, economic vitality, efficiency in government, and protecting Nebraska families. We are happy to have Governor Hyndman with us today. Please give Governor Hyndman a warm Bloomfield welcome.
Thank you very much. It really is an honor to be here today, and I noticed there was a reference to Tom Osborne and Bo Pelini. Now, the older guy, Dr. Breed, he's Tom Osborne, okay? I'm the younger, fiery guy, and I just want to share with you, since we got a football game to play this week to win the Big Ten championship, I've been talking to Bo, the real Bo, that maybe the speech he should give before they go out on the field at the start of the game is to tell our team, guys, this is the beginning of the second half, and let's get started, and let's get right in the first half. So you watch on Saturday night, 7 p.m., they're going to get off to a great start, and we're going to get ahead of Wisconsin. We're going to stay ahead of them because it's tough on the heart for us old guys to keep having these close games, and we want to win them. The other thing, I appreciate the reference because when I think about what you've accomplished, if I could put it in an athletic sense, you just won the national championship. Think about it. Think about what we're saying, that you're now in Blue Ribbon School, and the academic excellence and what that means. Only 6 schools in our state are receiving this award, about 250 all across America, and it says you're the best of the best. And that is a tribute, first of all, to the students, to the teachers, the administration, all the support staff, to the parents in this community, that you're willing to say high academic standards mean something. We all, when we're going through high school, and I remember myself, it's great to win a state championship in an athletic event, maybe even in an extracurricular activity, but at the end of the day, what really counts is the classroom. And you're number one. And I just want to repeat what the superintendent mentioned a moment ago, because I took note of this when I was reviewing all the statistics over the weekend. All the Nebraska school assessment results. Your district, #1 in math, #3 in science, #6 in writing, #7 in reading. No other school district in the state of Nebraska was in the top 10 in all categories. No other school district in the state of Nebraska was in the top 20 in all categories except you. This is a very smart school district. And Dr. Breed made reference to those ACT scores. I think it's about 4 times the combined total of ours to get to Nick's 36, the other 3 that are above 30. Think about that. In a small community like this, on a per student basis, I don't have any doubt you have more students who got above 30 on their ACT than any other school district in Nebraska. There are a lot of schools that are much bigger than Bloomfield who don't have 4, and you did it with a much smaller student population. So all the students, again, we're very, very proud of you. And someday you'll be able to look back and you'll be able to tell your kids, at least at this time until they beat you, you were the smartest class in Bloomfield history, and you received this award. But again, how did you achieve it? And the previous speakers alluded to it. It's a team effort. It's a team effort. It takes the entire community and your commitment, your dedication to provide the resources. It takes parental involvement. And I've been through this with our own son. We don't have to do the homework, but we're there to encourage you. To let every student know that what he or she does in the classroom is important to their success today and well into the future. And it starts in school. Now you think about it. When you do well in school, chances are pretty good you're going to do well in life. So this community has very high standards. And then you have a school in which the administration, the teachers, and the support staff are there to give you the very best education they can give you. And I can speak from personal experience. I know Bloomfield's about 1,100, but one of the communities I grew up in Nebraska, southwest Nebraska, was Bakerland. It's about half the size of Bloomfield. So you're a big city to me. And look at what you're doing. And sometimes young people in particular, they wonder, well, if I'm growing up in Bloomfield or Bakerland or Wahoo, where I graduated from high school, am I receiving as good an education as those kids in Lincoln and Omaha and all the other big cities? And I will tell you, you are. And you are receiving a more well-rounded education. Because when you get the opportunity in a small school like Bloomfield, you get to do everything. You get to play in sports, you get to be in the band. Now, Commissioner Breed and I were commenting the fact that we were in the band when we were in high school. We don't like to say we played. We acted like we knew what we were doing. And think about it. You get to do all of that when you're in a small community. When you get to be in Class A school, for example, in our state, chances are you're going to be more focused in one athletic endeavor, maybe one extracurricular activity, much sooner. And so you come out of a smaller school, more well-rounded, better prepared for life. And I say that I had the fortunate opportunity after I graduated from Wahoo High School to go to the United States Military Academy. And when I went there, I thought, oh my gosh. Well, a young man growing up in Wahoo, Nebraska, be able to compete with these young people from New York City, Chicago, Detroit, Los Angeles, And I found out right away, it didn't take but about 30 days, to know because of the great education I got in small town Nebraska, I could compete, and I could compete very successfully. Secondly, when you grow up in a small town, I can assure you beyond the shadow of a doubt, you have a lot more common sense than those students growing up in those big cities. And all your parents are nodding because they know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the other thing growing up in a small community like this, and I'm sure it's never happened to any of the students that we're honoring today, just in case you happen to do something wrong during the day, before you get home at night, your parents already know about it. Now, since you've never done anything wrong, unlike Commissioner Breed and I, you probably never experienced that like we did when we were growing up. But think about what that says. We didn't always appreciate that as kids, but it says your parents in this community really care about all of you. They support you, they love you, and they want to make sure that you're well taken care of. So those are just some of the advantages when I think about small school districts and the opportunities that you have in a Bloomfield that you might not have in an Omaha or Lincoln school district. And then to achieve the success that you have achieved and the recognition that we are giving you today, this is quite extraordinary. And one that the entire community ought to be enormously proud of. And when I think about the future for a moment, what we're trying to do in Nebraska, I've said repeatedly there are two priorities that we're really focused on: education and jobs. And they're linked together. We want to give every young student in the state of Nebraska the very best education we can give them. Realizing that a high school education is no longer sufficient, that you need to be thinking about going on to a technical or a community college or a four-year collegiate institution to be able to compete successfully in this global economy that you're all going to compete in the most technologically advanced society that we've ever faced. So that's how important education is, and how seriously your teachers and your administration, your support staff take it here in Bloomfield. And then the second component is we want to make sure we're creating jobs to keep you right here in Nebraska. There is no better place to live, to work, and to raise a family than right here in Nebraska. Now, some of you may want to go away for a while to a college or whatever. Maybe you'll even stay away for a couple of years. And then you're going to find out, gee, it was really a lot better in Bloomfield than any place that I'm at now. And we want to make sure that we are creating high-paying jobs so that you'll want to stay in Nebraska the rest of your life. Because that's how we're going to grow. At the end of the day, one of the things that I'm trying to do as governor is to make sure we grow. Because if we're growing, we're creating more jobs and more opportunities for all of you. Because the last thing we want to do, and this used to happen for a period of time, is we give you a great education, and then we don't have good jobs for you in Nebraska, and you went to another state and we never get you back. I want to share with all of you, but particularly not only the young people, but all the adults here today. For the first time in the history of this state, the last 3 years, our population growth has exceeded the national average. Nebraska is growing faster than America. Think about that. We're 38th or 39th state in terms of population, but because we're creating jobs, we're keeping more young people here than ever before. More families are moving here because of the jobs that we have. We are a growing state, and we want to continue to do that. So when I look to the future, and I think about what you've accomplished, this is just the beginning. In 20 years from now, some of you are going to have the opportunity to be a very successful business or community leader here in Bloomfield. One of you might even be a teacher or a superintendent. One of you might just take Dr. Breed's place and be the commissioner of education for the state. And one of you, if you're really lucky, will become the governor of the state of Nebraska. And I try to tell people all the time how fortunate I feel to be the governor of the state of Nebraska, because it's the best job in America, to to be the governor of the best state in the United States of America. Every single day, I get to see Nebraska at its best. Think about it. No one ever invites me to the worst thing going on in their community. Only the best. The things that we're doing today to recognize student achievement, academic excellence, to recognize the teacher of the year, the volunteer of the year in your community, the business leader of the year. Well, those are the opportunities that await you if you'll take what you've done today and continue to apply it in the future. Yesterday, I was speaking to a 4th grade class. One of the questions they asked me, because they think once they get out of high school, all your learning's done. And a student said, well, Governor, you no longer have to read every day, do you? So I asked him, well, how many hours a day do you think I read? Every day as governor, somewhere between 3 to 4 hours a day, I'm reading, signing documents, trying to learn more about our state so that we can continue to move our state forward. This is just the beginning for all of you. You have an enormously bright future ahead of you. We are so proud to be here today to recognize your achievement. This doesn't happen very often. And so I'll kind of conclude with the way I started. This really is the national championship of academic excellence, of academic performance. Now the challenge, you hear a coach say this all the time. Winning the national championship is easier than trying to repeat. So of all the young kids up there, you've got to repeat this performance. Year in, year out, and we want to see you become a blue ribbon school every year. And so again, Dr. Breed and all of us are enormously proud to be here today. And at this time, we now want to present the blue ribbon flag that symbolizes your achievement as one of the 6 blue ribbon schools here in Nebraska.
Thank you, Governor. Parents, guardians, teachers, Commissioner Breed, Governor Hyman, community members, and most importantly, students. What a privilege it is for me to be here and celebrate our achievement as being recognized as a blue ribbon school. As a long-time teacher here at Bloomfield, I can testify to the fact that we just got recognized as being one of the blue ribbon schools. I have felt for a long time, that we were a blue ribbon school before we ever got this award. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Sometimes recognition comes a little bit late, okay? And you were talking about Tom Osborne. I also was thinking about the years that Tom Osborne was a head football coach at the UNL. And it took him a long time before he got recognized as being one of the great ones. Now, Tom Osborne, he's great. But how many years did he slave in the trenches there and get criticized because you just can't win big when you're just kind of a so-so coach? Yeah, and I think now Tom probably could have gotten that award sooner had he gone out seeking it. But that isn't what he was about, and I don't think as a school that's what we've been out seeking. Is recognition for ourselves. To be humble,
to accept it when it comes, yeah, that's the way it should be. For the school to get to its present situation, I personally would like to thank and applaud the many fine teachers that in the past have given up so much of their personal lives to make our school, your school, what it is today. I have 4 daughters that graduated from BHS, and I thought that they received fine education. Now, what I would like to do, and I know that we've got some past teachers here, what I would like to do is have them stand up and be recognized, because this achievement that we're receiving today, it didn't come in the last year, it didn't come in the last 2 years. It's come from a long time back. So if you ever taught here at Bloomfield, please stand and be recognized. I believe that one of the main reasons for Bloomfield to attain the distinction of being a Blue Ribbon School is because of our high expectations as teachers, administrators, and parents as to what levels of learning are acceptable. The growing pains that we sometimes experience when parents, administrators, teachers, and students don't always agree on what level of learning is acceptable and what is not. Sometimes that's really hard. But if we are to continue to be a Blue Ribbon School, we need to encourage our students to be the best that they can be, to push them at various times to excel. We need parents, teachers, and administrators to put on a unified effort and map out exactly what we plan for the student. And that all of us encourage the student, and that all of us are supportive of each other. Now, some of you might say, well, that's kind of like what a mom and dad would sound like. Yeah, that's exactly right. If the mother and father are not on the same page as to what their sons or daughters are going to do, it isn't going to be pretty. We have to put on a unified effort as to exactly what we expect of our kids. Now, in the background, we may take each other to the side and converse. That would be good. But in front of the students, we need to be unified. I would also like to congratulate the students that made this award possible. The hours that were spent doing homework, studying. I don't know for sure if you realize that by doing all of that studying, that, hey, yeah, if I study a little bit more, I might get better grades, and then Bloomfield will be a Blue Ribbon School. I don't know for sure if some of you have that in the back of your mind or not. But that is exactly what happened. I don't know if some of you were paying much attention to other students that were looking around and they saw how much you were studying. And they saw the way that you were getting after your studies. And they saw how much extra time you spent studying. We really don't have any idea of the role model that we can portray, one or the other. And it can go the other way. But what do you students, and in the past, I think that we've had some great role models as students. And maybe we still need role models in government. I know that, I mean, having positive role models every place is extremely important. One of the questions that we need to ask is, okay, so where do we go from here? Yeah, today it's a great day of celebrating our past achievements, what we have accomplished. So we're going to just sit on the couch now and get to be real big couch potatoes. Probably not. We need to encourage ourselves. We need to improve. We need to find out better ways of motivating students. Students, you need to take ownership of what you can be. We need to get everyone involved with the school to look at ways that we can improve our school and go forward from here. On a personal note, I would like to thank the board, the administrators, for giving me the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. to accept this award on behalf. I don't know where this is coming from. On behalf of Bloomfield Community School, it really did make a huge impact on me. Thank you very much.
Kindergarten through 4th grade to come down and join us on the risers. While they're doing that, I want to, because they're going to use their quiet feet, I want to thank a few folks that have helped us get this going. I do want to invite you to make sure and stick around. We have refreshments. I do want to let you know our elementary are going to go up to, back to the elementary. They have refreshments, the same refreshments will be provided up there. But our refreshments today were created and made by our own Mrs. Nip. I want to thank her. Thank you came in today. I hope you enjoyed our awesome band. I want to thank our band led by Mrs. Lane. I want to thank our student council led by Mrs. Cunningham with all our introductions today. Met our dignitaries at the door, led by Mrs. Beckman and all of our National Honor Societies. They have helped prepare our welcome sign back here and done a lot of things to help us get ready. Mrs. Beckman and our National Honor Society. And our final thank you is to our awesome janitorial staff, Mr. Farringer and Mr. Milliken. Thank you for tying up the crew. After our kindergarten through 4th grade will complete singing, and they're actually going to sign our school song. We invite everybody to stay for snacks. We have the refreshments over here, and we thank you for coming. They're getting set up, and Mrs. Lange's going to lead again our kindergarten through 4th. Thank each and every one of you for coming. Thank you for all you've done for our school.